As June represents National PTSD Awareness Month, and yesterday, Tuesday, June 27th, marked National PTSD Awareness Day, I want to take a few minutes for this week's Wellbeing Wednesday and raise awareness for PTSD and share some information about it. What we know about PTSD is that across the general population, we see about 6% of Americans throughout the course of their life will experience PTSD. In an average year, about 5% of the population. In 2020, we saw those numbers raised to 13%, and we see these numbers even higher across the world. We see for veterans, it can be as high as 29 to 30% from those that have had active tours of duty and lots of other circumstances. And even for children and adolescents, studies show that about 15 to 43% of girls and anywhere from 14 to 43% of boys go through potentially traumatic events, resulting in anywhere as up to 3 to 15% of girls showing PTSD throughout the course of their child, adolescence, and teenage years. So with all of these higher percentages than some may think, it's important to recognize that when somebody is going to experience a potentially traumatic event, that not everyone is going to react in the same way. Some people will show acute stress responses, and within a few days to a few weeks, those symptoms will go away. But for other individuals, they will linger, or they may not even realize at the beginning that they're there because they could be things such as sleep disturbance, difficulty falling asleep or staying asleep, not just the nightmares that many people associate with PTSD. We're going to see individuals experiencing anger, depression. We can see related concerns with chronic pain, substance misuse, risk of suicide, grief. There's also a lot of stigma that can be attached to it. Why do some people go through a circumstance and they seem to recover and others seem stuck? This disorder of non-recovery. And for many people, they experience a lot of shame or feelings of guilt of either feeling that it was their fault they were in this circumstance, or what is wrong with them that they are not recovering the way that others in the same situation seem to be. It's important to note that not everyone is going to feel comfortable sharing about their experiences, and many people do try to hide it. Asking somebody how they're doing, checking in with them isn't going to make the condition worse. For many people, that social support can be a protective factor and much more helpful for them. And it's important to recognize that there are all different symptoms that people experience. Just as if not every single person that has the common cold will show the same symptoms, it's the same thing with psychological or mental concerns. For somebody with PTSD, we can see a lot of emotion disruption. For some people, they're experiencing those higher levels of anger and guilt, but for other people, they're feeling emotionally numb. It's more difficult for them to experience even happiness and joy anymore. You can see the isolation, wanting to protect themselves over activity. You can see the kind of hypervigilance where the individual is on edge. They may not want to have their back to a door or to be surprised because they feel like they're constantly scanning to protect themselves from something future happening to them that could be negative or harmful. So it's important to recognize that for individuals that have gone through these events, not every single person is going to react the same way. And it's not just individuals that have been in the military or veterans, or for somebody that's gone through a sexual assault or a rape. It can be many other circumstances where someone is experiencing a situation where they feel like their life was in danger, they're of serious threat to their physical self or to their integrity and to who they are as a person. And so that threat of death or impending harm can cause enough of that fear and hopelessness to trigger someone and to see that onset of PTSD. At the end of the day, it's important to recognize that we need to reduce the stigma, to raise awareness that there are resources out there and that there are people out there that do care and want to be able to help. Be well.